Hello, Algebra students and Algebra parents. My name is Constantino Montes, or Mr. Montes for my students. I am a teacher at Pasco High. I focus on teaching algebra. I've been working in collaboration with the algebra teachers at Chihuahua High School, and we came up with a lesson for you guys in this third week of no school. Our hope is to come up with one of these lessons every single week, and this week we came up with a two-parter. The first part is going to be just a review of some of the skills that our algebra students have learned in the first two trimesters. If you take a look at this, there's really only 7 problems, and they range anywhere from solving an equation to an inequality to solving a system of equations. I wouldn't focus too much on doing every single problem on this worksheet. I would pick a handful of problems, maybe 3 or 4, that seem familiar to something that you've done in class, and attempt them. And once you attempt them, you can go ahead and check your solutions on this second page. Now, we haven't walked through the solutions on this page. It's just the solution is given. So if there is an issue or you do have a problem, you are more than welcome to contact your teacher. Their email should be the first letter of their first name and then their last name at psd1.org. At least it is for most teachers. Some teachers are a little bit different. But in any case, contact your teacher, ask them for help. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to walk you through some of these problems. Parents as well, if you guys are sitting down and you're trying to work on this stuff but you can't figure it out, contact us and we'll help walk you through the process. Okay, so that's the first part. I wouldn't spend more than 20 minutes on this. The second part is going to be the meat of this, and it's a task that we didn't design it. Our curriculum, Agile Mind, actually does these tasks called Mars tasks, and we took it from one of the lessons and we decided to use it. It's called Number Towers. I have the objective here, which is going to be students will be able to form and solve equations from a number pattern. Up here, ignore this for a second. This is going to be where I'm going to put the YouTube link so that people can find this video. But if you're watching this, you've obviously already found it. So number towers work like this. Each number in the number tower is the sum of the two numbers just below it. So I got this number 5 right here. 5 is the sum of 2 and 3. 10 is going to be the sum of 3 and 7, and 15 is going to be the sum of 5 and 10. And this next picture right here is just showing you how those sums work. And this next part, after you have those all down, what we're going to have you guys do is create your own number tower. And we would like you to create 4 levels. This one has 3 levels here. Create one with 4 levels. Put the numbers in, and then show someone in your home, someone that maybe your little brother or sister, or an older brother and sister, an uncle, an aunt, grandmother, somebody. Show them the number tower, and here's something fun that you could do is just don't tell them how it works and see if they can figure it out. If they can't figure it out, maybe come up with some helpful hints that they could pick up on to maybe figure out the pattern. So anyways, that's just something fun for you guys to try. And then you move down to the second page, and here we have the problem that you're going to be working on. It says Marcy makes a bigger number tower, but some of the values are missing, as well as 2 unknown values, x and y. Using what you learned about number towers, answer the following questions. So at this point, we haven't really asked a question. We're just describing the number tower that Marcy created. And the first question is going to be, complete the number tower by writing algebraic expressions in the empty boxes. Now, the hard part is going to be here that we don't know what x and y are, but we know that this box up here, this one right here, that box right there is the sum of the 2 that are just below it. So we have a 2 here, and we have an x. Now, I know we don't know what x is, but we're going to write an expression. So we know that this box right here is going to be 2 plus x. I can't combine 2 and x because they're not like terms, so I'm just going to leave it. And we're going to do the same thing for each one of these boxes. And after you complete that, you will have done part 1 of this task. Part 2. Part 2 is going to ask you to use a completed number tower to show that 2x plus y equals 14 and x plus 2y equals 16. This problem is going to take a little bit of simplification for you to be able to show these two things. But again, just follow the rules of the number tower. This box right here is going to be the sum of these two down here. This box right here is the sum of these two. And 24 and 16 are going to be the sum of the two right below it. So start there. For part 3, it says find the values of x and y that satisfy both equations. And these equations right here are the same ones that we saw up here. Now we do give you a hint on this. You are solving a system of equations. Try some of the techniques that you used in class. So if you're solving this, if you're trying to find the values of x and y from these two equations, you're actually working with a system of equations. And there are a lot of techniques that you can use to solve these types of systems. You can use the substitution method. You can use the linear combination or addition method. And then you can also use graphing. Really, it's whatever you all feel comfortable in doing. And again, these equations are given to you. So if you weren't able to do number 2, that is okay. You can jump straight to number 3 and solve this system. After you're done with that and you find your solution, you find what the value of x is and the value of y is, we actually created a little bit of an extension to this task. So the number towers that we were working with before had to do with addition. This time, Marcy designs one with multiplication. And so it works the same, except in this case, this box right here is not going to be the sum of z and 2. Let me mark this down. This right here will not be the sum of this and this. It's actually going to be the product or the multiplication of those two values. So see here, we have 2z plus 2. That's actually equal to 2 times z plus 1. And if it doesn't seem like, how does this equal this? How does 2 times z plus 1 end up being 2z plus 2? Well, if I have 2 times z plus 1, and I'm putting that in parentheses right here, if I do some distribution, I end up with 2z plus 2. So you're going to have to keep some of that stuff in mind, that distribution property, to be able to do some of these problems. It does ask you to complete the multiplication tower, and it's basically done. You're just missing this second piece right here. So that's for number 4. Number 5, it says use the completed multiplication tower to show 4z squared, plus 4z is equal to 48. And again, I have another hint for you guys. Z times z is equal to z to the power of 2. A lot of times people get a little confused and they write z times z as 2z. It's actually z to the power 2, or z squared. So you're going to have to use some of your knowledge of the distribution property and some of your knowledge of multiplying numbers and unknown values to be able to do this part. And once you do part number 5, you can move on to number 6. This one says find all the possible values for z in 4z squared plus 4z equals 48. Again, you're not asked to come up with this equation right here. It's the same one that was up here. And there's a big hint here. It says you may or may not have worked with quadratics before. If you have not, guess and check is a perfectly good way of finding some possible solutions. So some people have worked with quadratics, some people haven't. You can solve this equation here, which is a quadratic due to this power of 2 on the variable z. You can solve them using different methods, but I know a lot of algebra students haven't learned these yet, and it actually was a topic that we're supposed to go into in the 3rd trimester. If you haven't learned it, that's okay. We can use guess and check. And by guess and check, I mean, if I wanted to plug in the number 3 for z, I could plug that in and plug that in here and plug that in here and see if it gives me 48. One thing to remember is that if I plug in 3 for z here, and it says, this is going to say 3 to the power of 2. Remember your order of operations, and a lot of people remember these as PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction. You're going to have to do the exponent first here, 3 to the power 2, which is going to give me 9. and then multiply that by 4. Multiply 4 times 3 here, and then add those two together to see if it gives you 48. If it doesn't give you 48, try a different number. This might take a little bit of work, but I'm really certain that it's within your capabilities as algebra students at this point. In any case, this is the entire task for you guys to try. Again, we plan for this to be about an hour. If you're spending more time on this than that, that's okay. If you start getting a little frustrated, it's always good to walk away and then come back. Or, again, feel free to contact us. I think most teachers are checking their email every single day, or I know all teachers are checking their email every single day. So email us, parents and students, and we can help walk you guys through some of this stuff, and hopefully help you guys out.